Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast. Beautiful view from our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. It's known as the summer slide, but does it have to happen to your kids? Here with tips to help your children continue their learning all summer long, we welcome Educator Madelain Westermann. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Hannah.
You have taught kids, I understand, all over the world.
I have, and kids are kids everywhere, and I have to be honest, they're amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be in it this long if I didn't.
We were talking about my little ones at home. They're so fun, but they can be exhausting sometimes. So we're glad to have educators like you. Let's talk about summer slide. How big of a deal is it? How worried do parents and caregivers need to be about it?
So it is a real phenomenon. You don't need to worry about it because it's been in existence before today.
Right.
And the thing is, if you can push against it gently, that's the way to go. Every child has natural intelligences and passions. So one thing I like to see families doing during the summer is promoting those areas within their children, looking at their gifts and talents and say, well, what can we expand during this 2-month period? It's really only 2 months.
Okay.
That we can't do during a school year, and really embracing their strengths, their, we were talking about inquisitiveness and looking into that.
That's a great way to think about it, really encourage those curiosities when you have a little bit more time during the summer. So encouraging their passions. You have great suggestions, like things like cooking with your kids.
So when you cook with kids of all ages, you're using reading comprehension and math. Plus you have a great output that if they did it right, that tastes amazing. I just did this morning with one of my students.
Fun.
And we had crepes.
Oh,
and
come on.
Yep.
I want to be in your cooking class.
I like being in my classes
Hello.
too. But it, and then the math is the measurement and the timing and everything. So it helps you address different academic areas in a more creative way that you can't do in a classroom.
Yeah, and it's a great life skill too, to just get started whenever you find the time. Okay, let's talk about summer reading programs. Those are great incentives and kids kind of think they're fun.
And they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Your local libraries, the bookstores, some of them incentivize it with gift cards and prizes and things like that. But it also gives them something to look at, like, oh, I'm going to do the bingo, or I'm going to do this many more books. So it takes, you know, as a parent, you always have to be the parent. And that way, the reading program is kind of the parent guiding them in their choices and to keep reading.
Yeah, there's some really fun incentives out there. Let's talk about strategic games. How can those be helpful?
Okay, those are really great for kids of all intelligences. You can use old vintage games, like, for example, doing Candyland with real candy with self-control.
Okay.
But you can also do role reversals where you have your child teach the parent some of their games, which is always fascinating as they try to explain it to you and try to make you successful.
Right.
That role reversal is a great bonding experience. But there are so many games that have high-level thinking skills, and the kids don't feel like they're working, but they really are.
That's
and they
true.
always have to read. You know, you have to read directions, you have to read cue cards, you have to read everything to know how to play the game.
That's a great point. I love this idea, volunteering.
So one of our teachers actually did this last week with her daughter at the Oregon Food Bank, and I was so proud because it's boots on the ground.
Yeah.
If you want your child to be more empathetic and more involved in their community, you start when they're children, not when they're, you know, older.
Right. How about having a pen pal?
So everybody loves to receive letters.
It's true.
We are in the day of email, but still the #1 thing that people value is a handwritten letter. So you've got grandparents, aunts, relatives, friends all over the world. There are pen pal programs. It's great for writing and keeping their writing up. They can draw pictures. It's good for all ages. And then when they get something back, that just naturally reinforces itself.
My kids love checking the mail, and they're always asking, did I get mail? So I can tell you it's the truth. Okay, how about music enrichment?
So music intelligence and math intelligence go hand in hand. There are so many wonderful music camps for kids. My son was a very talented musician in high school, and we actually went to a summer camp at Stanford where he spent weeks learning higher levels of using his instrument to
Oh,
play with
wow.
bands and different groups of people. So it expands their contacts, it expands their awareness of what the old, you know, kind of band camp kind of idea is much more sophisticated today
Right.
because there's all kinds of music. Even electronic music has music camps during the summer.
That's true, and great kind of to use that part of your brain. How about a scavenger hunt? That's super fun.
So another student that I was working with is doing this today for her parents. And who doesn't love a scavenger hunt?
Yeah.
And it can be for your naturalist intelligence outside where they get to see, even your backyard has so much to investigate. I remember the first time we did something of this nature when my kids were very young. They were in preschool, like one of yours, and we just did an insect scavenger hunt.
Oh.
And my neighbor was like, no, my little girl is not. It was the best time we'd ever had.
I
We
bet.
looked at them, we looked at their habitats, they tried to build better habitats for them, and they would check on it for weeks to come. So any place can be a scavenger hunt, inside or outside, so it's not good weather
Sure.
only.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless. You just gave us so many great ideas. I've got my whole summer planned now.
There you go.
Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you.
Nice talking to you too.
We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.